From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good morning and happy Friday. We're tracking some snow this morning in the Blue Mountains in elevations above 3,000 feet. Snow levels will be falling down to around 2,500 feet a little bit later in the day. Right now, visibility is pretty good for our lower elevations, minus the Hanford site. We're seeing a little blip there, but most of the mountains, especially the Cascades, socked in with more fog, as you would expect. Temperatures are colder compared to yesterday morning. We're actually below freezing for portions of the Yakima Valley, so that's where you would maybe have to break out the ice scraper for this morning, but just a little bit too warm for that in the basin and in the foothills, where temperatures are in the upper 30s to low 40s. It does feel a little bit colder this morning in the Kittitas Valley because of winds gusting out of the north and west. A little bit later today, those winds could gust upwards of 30 miles per hour. Here's the bottom line for the forecast. A few showers left over for today and tomorrow, but then late tomorrow through Monday, we have a big-time storm system. We have another one that we're tracking with great intent late Tuesday and a Wednesday. But first, for that Sunday, Monday storm system, it's a first alert weather day for the Cascades in particular, as we're expecting at least a foot of snow for some of those Cascade passes. And I'll show you where winter storm watch is already in place. That's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, shots fired at Yakima police officers after they tried to chase a suspect with a stolen car. We have what happened. And students from all over the region are gathering at a local high school to build networking skills. Our Riley Fitzgerald with that story. And President-elect Trump preparing to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as part of his cabinet. We have the update on who else has been selected and why there's some controversy around his picks. Good Morning Northwest starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Friday, November 15th. Happy Friday. We're going to start your top stories off with some crime news. Now, the Yakima Police Department says officers tried to stop a suspected car thief, but it turned into a chase with the suspect firing shots at officers, eventually leading to the suspect crashing into a van. Now, YPD says they got the call just before 11 a.m. yesterday for a report of a stolen car. When an officer spotted the car, they began to follow it, but it soon turned into a police pursuit that lasted several minutes. Officers say the suspect then spotted another Yakima patrol car that wasn't involved in the pursuit, but they took out their gun and shot at that car. Police say they continued to chase the suspect, who then shot at 4 to 5 officers before he crashed into a van, injuring the van driver. And that was at South 4th Avenue and West Yakima Avenue.
Based upon it being a stolen car, we wouldn't have continued that because of the danger to the public. But once he starts discharging a firearm at our officers and creates a greater substantial risk of injury to either officers or the public, that's when we made the decision to continue the pursuit.
The van driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the suspect was also taken to the hospital to get checked out, and then he was booked into the Yakima County Jail. No officers were hurt, but at least 2 patrol cars had bullet hole damage, and YPD says officers did not return gunfire in the pursuit. More news out of Yakima. U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell announces 9 communities across Washington will receive a total of $2.1 million to make roadways safer. Now, the funding comes from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. One of the local grants include over $348,000 for the Confederated Tribes and Bands of the Yakima Nation. This is to develop a safety action plan to improve roadway safety within the nation's jurisdiction. And the plan will help update data, communications technologies, and safety-focused initiatives for rural and tribal roads. In education news this morning, nearly 400 students from 12 schools around the region are visiting local unions for something called Apprenticeship Week. Now, the electrical, sheet metal, and pipe fitters unions are hosting hands-on tours of 3 local union training centers, and this includes UA 598, Local 55, and IBEW 112. The training director with Columbia Basin Electrical, Jeff Arns, says these students are learning about some other options that are out there that aren't just college.
I got an apprenticeship when I was 19 and I absolutely fell in love with it. It was one of the best career choices I could have made. For Apprenticeship Week, we're going to do some real simple explanations. Right here behind us, we're going to do conduit. They're going to be bending some half-inch conduit and learning just some basic bends. In the previous lab that they were just in, they were kind of getting shown fire alarm, motor control, basic switching, and just some basic circuitry.
Arns also says the IBEW 112 will be hosting a parent night. That's tonight from 5 to 7, and this is for families who have additional questions. Apprenticeship Week is part of a huge effort that supports students exploring post-high school options, particularly options through the trades. Now in more education news, Chiawana High School in Pasco is hosting a leadership summit called The Power of Connection. High school student body leaders from across the region are getting training on networking and developing relationships. Apple Valley News Now's Riley Fitzgerald has the story.
The name tags, like preparing all the name tags. We put together little snack boxes for everybody with our sponsor stickers on them. We put some balloon arches together that you'll see, tablecloth centerpieces. So just like everything that kind of goes into running an event. And then we have a surprise coming. Right at the beginning of our conference, we'll have a wrap by our special group called Too Cool for School. So they will be debuting their wrap that includes all of the school's names and just a fun little way to start the event.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Leadership Summit. Schools from all over that show we running. Chiawana and Kamaikan bringing their best. Hanford and Richland passing the test. Walla Walla, Kai-B, Pennowick 2. Colorado and Pasco showing what they can do. Southern and Delta stepping up strong. Tri-Cities prep, New Horizons can't go wrong. Tucci in the house, we're all united. Future leaders here, so excited.
The student leading the way for Too Cool for School, Chiawana High School senior Malia Rude.
I hope to definitely learn just better my leadership skills overall, and to learn like how other schools run things is pretty cool, so maybe we can take some of that and use it at Chiawana.
At the Power of Connection Leadership Summit, there are 2 days of workshops, keynote speeches, and interactive activities focused on building leadership skills and fostering collaboration.
Bringing student leaders from a bunch of different schools together to learn, network, collaborate, and grow so they can go back to their schools and communities and transform them. But sometimes when you're in your own individual silos, it makes it difficult to learn and get new ideas. So by bringing everybody here and collecting the energy and knowledge, it makes it more powerful and rich for everybody.
It's the first of its scale in the region for student leaders, established by Chiawana ASB advisor Bobby Butters.
We have 14 schools and almost 300 students, and we have over 10 presenters coming in.
And we're just trying to bring together all our resources and like spread them out throughout the schools to better the leadership and the unity of the Tri-Cities.
The one-of-a-kind summit is designed to empower students to develop skills that will make a lasting impact in their schools and communities.
Together we'll achieve with strength and grace. At the Leadership Summit, we'll find our place.
For Apple Valley News Now, I'm Riley Fitzgerald.
And this event continues today, and Butters says the goal is for this conference is to expand to all Washington schools within the next 5 years. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is set to join Trump's administration, but the department he could be leading could draw some pushback from Senate Republicans. Details are coming up in your national news. But first, our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your weather forecast. Keep it here. We will be right back.
In a world where every customer wins, only one event will completely change the vehicle shopping experience for Eastern Washington. This is an all-out battle as all McCurley locations compete to provide you with the vehicle you've been waiting for. Hurry in today and save big before the countdown ends.
Save on a new Subaru Crosstrek today during the final countdown from McCurley Subaru.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
test drive?
Absolutely. There's the all-new Kicks.
the new V6-powered Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Consumer Guide's Best Buy 10 years in a row.
Finished with all your holiday shopping?
We are now. Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Now get $1,250 customer cash on Rogue Platinum, or get a low $299 per month lease on Rogue.
Dishwasher on the fritz. Laundry giving you fits. A water heater that quits. In a world without Culligan, hard water makes life harder. Get a Culligan softener, the world's best. Put your water worries to rest.
Floor scuffs, tears, and nasty scratches. Forget them for good with Ruby Sliders, the chair leg covers that stretch to fit most chairs and make floor marks a thing of the past. Slide it here, slide it there, slide it anywhere. Just slip them on and keep your floors looking like new. They fit any size or shape furniture leg and glide effortlessly. Forget flimsy felt pads and caps that don't fit. Just stretch it on and slide it. Call or click now to get Ruby Sliders for as low as 99 cents with free shipping.
Tonight, why would somebody ever
Put a wig on and gun somebody down in a parking lot?
He got shot for 1 of 3 reasons: greed, revenge, or lust.
And then, bingo.
All new 2020 tonight on ABC.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We already have winter storm watches that are in place from 4 in the morning on Saturday to 10 p.m. on Monday for the western slopes of the Cascades. This includes Snoqualmie Pass and a couple of the other passes out this way. Just keep in mind that the biggest impacts for us are likely going to be on Sunday and Monday, as snow levels are going to do a funky little dance. We'll talk about that more coming up a little bit later in the show. All right, we're going to do a quick whip around of our passes right now. Thankfully, it's bare pavement at Snoqualmie Pass. It is also bare pavement at White Pass, but you have to carry chains at all of these passes. It is required by law. Then for Spout Springs, there are some spots of ice there on portions of Oregon 204. And then for, I'm trying to remember what the final one is. Yeah, Cabbage Hill, bare pavement here as well. Also, you have to carry chains here. Okay, here's your day planner for areas in between the mountain ranges. By 8 this morning, still could have some showers in Walla Walla, temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Come time for lunchtime, still maybe some showers in the Walla Walla area. High temperatures getting up into the 40s at this point. We'll still be in the 40s come time for 4 p.m. Plenty of sunshine for the valleys and basin, but clouds hanging tougher for the foothills and for the mountains. So for today, will be seasonal. Wind should be pretty light, except for in the Kittitas Valley. They'll gust out of the north and west upwards of 30 miles per hour. And then for tonight, very cold stuff. Overnight lows dropping down into the 20s and 30s. All of us are going to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing. And of course, we're tracking that big time storm system as we head into late Saturday, but especially for Sunday and Monday. I'll tell you what we're expecting for said storm system coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In your national news now, sources close to President-elect Donald Trump say he's ready to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as his Health and Human Services Secretary. Although days before the election, Trump's transition co-chair, Howard Lutnick, said RFK Jr. was not going to be part of the HHS department. As far as next steps go, RFK Jr. will need to go through the confirmation process, which could draw some pushback from Senate Republicans who have issues with his stance on vaccines. And continuing on the president-elect's cabinet, he has chosen North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum as a secretary at the Department of the Interior. Trump revealed the pick during a gala last night, and this was at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Burgum is a conservative second-term governor and former Microsoft executive. He challenged Trump for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination, and in the role, Burgum would oversee natural resources, public lands, and Indian affairs from current Secretary Deb Haaland, a former member of Congress who made history as the first Native American cabinet secretary. Now, so far, Trump has named over 20 picks for his administration, including Fox News host and Army National Guard veteran Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense and Florida GOP Representative Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Now, President Joe Biden is in Peru today for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. Some analysts say it's an awkward time to gather with APEC leaders, with Biden leaving office, and many leaders are pivoting their focus to President-elect Trump. Other analysts say Trump's America First policy vision leaves allies in an uncertain position. Biden is set to speak with the Japanese Prime Minister and South Korean President this afternoon, and tomorrow he's scheduled to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, we dive into a mental health disorder that affects millions of Americans, but many don't even realize they have it. We go over those symptoms after the break.
Light up the holidays and the road at Overturf Kia. Drive smarter with the all-around rugged Kia Telluride. 2024 Kia Telluride EX with captain's chairs, tow package, seating for 7, and all-wheel drive starts at $47,910. Plus, get 4.99% interest for 72 months. Overturf Kia at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
Save now with Bi-Mart's latest savings book, arriving in your mailbox this week, or pick up a copy in store. Seattle's best ground coffee is just $4.99. All party-sized bags of chips are 2 for $7. Select Pepsi brand 12-packs are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus, save in our bonus zone on an Element 55-inch smart TV and hot-priced half-pound bags of Werner beef jerky. Members save more with our latest savings book at Bi-Mart.
Loving a pizza, Tony's Big Cheese Pizza. Loving a pizza, I've been loving a pizza. Tony's Big Cheese Pizza. And Yakima's hometown.
Mom, let's order a large pepperoni pizza.
For Tony Big Cheese Pizza.
Good idea. I'll order it now. Tony's lets me order online or by phone.
When you want lunch or dinner the delicious, easy way, come to Yakima's Hometown Pizzeria.
We can't wait to see you at Tony's Big Cheese Pizza in the Safeway Plaza at 24th and Nob Hill.
In a world where every customer wins, only one event will completely change the vehicle shopping experience for Eastern Washington. The competition is fierce, but the rewards are all yours. Because when we push the limits, you drive away with more. This is an all-out battle for sales supremacy as all McCurley locations compete to provide you with the best deal, the best experience, the vehicle you've been waiting for. Will you find your way home? Hurry in today and save big before the countdown ends.
Get special 0% financing on a new Chevrolet during the final year-end countdown from McCurley Chevrolet.
Fly the Northwest with the ladies of WSU Crew, Tuesday at 6. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We continue to track these, well, it's not really snow showers, but it's this area of snow and elevations above 3,000 feet. Snow levels falling down to 2,500 feet a little bit later in the day. Let's show you today with Futurecast, and there's a very small chance we could have some showers in between the mountain ranges, but the best coverage today is going to be up in the mountains and in the foothills. Then come time for midnight, we should be dry, but then into Saturday, we're going to see the arrival of this next storm system. Now, throughout the day, it's going to be mostly light stuff, but into the evening, that's when the action is going to start to ramp up. Now, thankfully, for the late evening and into the early morning hours on Sunday, snow levels are going to go way up, but then they'll come crashing back down for the rest of Sunday. More on that in a second. First, here's some of the water totals that we're expecting from this morning through the wee hours of the morning on Sunday. So this does capture the beginning of that next storm system. Up to 1.5 inches of water for the Cascades, 3/4 of an inch for the Blues, between 1/10 to 1/4 for the Blue Foothills, but less than 1/10 for the valleys and for the basin. Snow levels over the next couple of days, you see getting pretty low by Saturday morning. We could have some flurries as low as Walla Walla and Pendleton and Ellensburg and Pilot Rock, but in those areas we're just expecting some flurries. And by Sunday morning, snow levels are going to go way up to 6,000 feet, but they'll come back down to 3,500 feet a little bit later in the day. So here are some of the snowfall totals we're expecting over the next 48 hours. Trace to 3 inches on our passes of US 2, US 12, US 97, I-90. Probably less than 1 inch for Battle Mountain Summit on US 395 and Spout Springs on Oregon 204. So again, that captures a little bit of the beginning of that storm system, but the real meat and potatoes of it is going to be into Sunday and Monday. And for those days, well, yeah, obviously it's going to be much wetter, but the amount of snowfall that we could see is going to be very impactful, especially for Snoqualmie Pass. We could have 1 foot to 1.5 foot, probably more for White Pass and Stevens Pass. You see high temperatures trending lower as we head into next week, but still pretty seasonal. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Small shower chances Friday and Saturday. Much wetter into Sunday than drier for Monday and Tuesday. In Yakima, turning wet again into Sunday, drier for Monday, then the possibility of a few flurries by Tuesday morning. In Ellensburg, we're watching Tuesday night into Wednesday morning very closely for the possibility of a couple inches of snow. In Hermiston, overall pretty dry for Friday and Saturday during the day, but rain chances going way up into Sunday. Then for Walla Walla, drier on Saturday, then wetter again by Sunday, watching the potential of a few flurries by Tuesday morning.
Thank you, Josh. In your health headlines this morning, we're talking about a type of depression that's triggered by a change in seasons. It's called seasonal affective disorder, and it affects millions of Americans, although many don't realize they have it. It can bring severe mood changes, impacting how a person feels, thinks, and acts. Mandy Gaither has the signs of this disorder and explains ways to help cope with the symptoms.
The days are shorter and darker. The temperatures are getting colder. If you feel down this time of year, you're not alone.
It's extremely common in colder weather climates, especially this time of year, with symptoms beginning and intensifying throughout the winter and even into the spring.
Licensed clinical psychologist Adam Borland with Cleveland Clinic says a lack of sunlight can impact vitamin D levels and serotonin, which helps regulate mood, behavior, sleep cycle, and memory. It can lead to symptoms like sadness, loss of interest, fatigue, and fluctuating appetite. Borland says maintaining a healthy daily routine can help.
Going to bed around the same time, trying to get up around the same time, monitoring diet and any potential alcohol or other substance usage, engaging in physical exercise, making sure that you socialize, engage in any creative outlets.
Borland also suggests using a sun lamp, which can mimic natural light and help regulate the sleep cycle. He says medications can help treat symptoms of anxiety and depression, as can talk therapy. But it's also important for a person with seasonal affective disorder to stay connected to others.
It's very easy to kind of hibernate during this time of year, and you want to make sure that you engage in social outlets.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Borland also says when it comes to SAD, a person has to be honest with themselves about their symptoms. If it's impacting your day-to-day functioning, seek mental health treatment and do not isolate yourself. Now up next on Good Morning Northwest, the beloved Pamela Anderson is returning to the movies. Coming up, we have a sneak peek at her new movie called The Last Showgirl. That's in your entertainment headlines right after the break.
Save now with Cascade Farm and Outdoors' latest mailer. Watch for it in your mailbox or pick up a copy in store. All Ariat sweaters and hoodies are now $10 off. Wrangler Premium Performance Advanced Comfort Jeans are just $39.99. All Stanley feed pellets are 30% off. Find Cascade 50-pound bags of layer pellets for just $15.99. Plus, save on Purina Pro Plan bags of dog food. Store-wide savings are going on now at Cascade Farm and Outdoor.
Once, this table belonged to you. But when you decided to donate it to Goodwill, it transformed into their table, supporting before-school gatherings, cherished family dinners, and creative crafting sessions. Its impact stretches even beyond. Goodwill utilizes the proceeds from its sales to assist local individuals in overcoming employment hurdles, providing training and job placement services not only for individuals, but also for local businesses. And that's how one table can support the opportunity for everyone to create their own stories and memories. Goodwill. Donate, shop, impact locally.
Workers and the families of deceased workers who worked at the Hanford site are now eligible for compensation for diseases and illnesses. This may be in addition to compensation already being received. Smart Law will be hosting a Hanford Workers' Compensation educational dinner at their Kennewick office Thursday, November 21st at 6 p.m. To register, call 509-735-5555. Dinner provided. Smart Law, smart choice.
Your lawn demands a lot out of you all summer long, but now you can demand a lot out of your equipment with the E-Force line from Echo. The max-out technology inside every Echo trimmer keeps it running so you can get the job done. And the long-lasting battery power that Echo provides will make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. So what are you waiting for? See the complete line of Echo E-Force products at Liberty Lawn and Saw on Van Giesen in West Richland or online at libertylawnandsaw.com.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0% APR for up to 84 months.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at gokubota.com.
A portion of the news is sponsored by Kubota.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In entertainment news, it's your first look at 2 movies that many people have been waiting for.
These 2 movies feature popular performers you may not have seen in a while, so here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
We were ambassadors for style and grace. The Las Vegas showgirl. The iconic American showgirl.
Pamela Anderson waxes nostalgic in the first teaser trailer for The Last Showgirl. She plays Shelley, whose Vegas show has closed after a 30-year run. Jamie Lee Curtis and Dave Bautista co-star. The Last Showgirl begins an Oscar-qualifying run December 13th and opens across the U.S. January 10th.
Mom! She's fine! It's not that bad! What is going on?
We were operatives for the CIA.
Like Jason Bourne?
Yeah, but we remember stuff.
Yeah.
Remember Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx? They play retired spies whose cover is blown in Back in Action. It's Diaz's first film in 10 years after stepping away to raise her children, and Foxx has kept a low profile since he was hospitalized while shooting this movie last year. Now both are back in the first teaser trailer for the film, which hits Netflix January 17th.
Just like old times, baby. Just like old times.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I am a huge fan of Pamela Anderson, so it's nice to see her back in the movies. She had a nice, break, lived her life. She's just so ethereal. I don't know.
I thought she had died, so...
Oh my, Josh! No!
No, I'm glad she didn't. I'm glad she didn't.
Okay, you were thinking of Anna Nicole Smith.
Yes,
yeah. Oh my goodness.
And you let me know there's a big
we're going
difference.
to educate you after this. Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 5:30, low voter turnout was apparent all across the country, but in Washington, it was even more so. And coming up in the next half hour, we'll take a look at those stats. But first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, PBS is coming to Prime Video. It marks the first time the public broadcaster's content will be free on a major streaming service. More than 150 PBS channels, including PBS Kids, will begin streaming over the coming months. 2 exclusive channels, PBS Drama and PBS Documentaries, will launch on the 26th. Next, Google's Gemini AI app is now available on the iPhone. It features Gemini Live, an interactive chat mode that works with text, voice, and camera. The free app also integrates with Google services like Maps and YouTube Music. An Android version is expected in the coming months. And finally, Microsoft is aiming to make every screen feel like an Xbox. Its new This Is an Xbox campaign shows gaming on laptops, TVs, and VR headsets. It's all part of Microsoft's push to reach gamers beyond consoles. And I'm hoping my screen gets this by 2025. It'll be my New Year resolution. Those are your Tech Bites.
When we started Blue Buffalo, we made a promise to our boy Blue that we would create the best pet food we possibly could, made with the finest natural ingredients and none of the things you find in many other pet foods. We call it the True Blue Promise, and it's our commitment to feed your pet just like we would feed Blue. It's what makes Blue Buffalo unlike other pet food companies, which have many different brands with different standards. We have one standard, the one inspired by our boy Blue for the well-being of your dog or cat. Because like you, we love them like family too.
Spoons, they're out. Panera's new ciabatta dippers are in. Each melty sandwich paired with a perfect portion of soup is made to dip. Go for the French dipper or spicy chicken dipper. No spoon necessary when your sandwich is built to do the dipping. Only at Panera for a limited time.
I had 20 years of experience as an HR professional, and I had reached a ceiling, so I enrolled in UMGC. I would not be the person that I am today had it not been for the partnership with UMGC.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, I was just looking up the national days for today, and it is Steve Irwin Day. Right?
Rest
yeah.
in peace.
I know.
No.
So you grew up watching Steve Irwin, right?
Of course.
Me too,
Yes.
yeah. Crikey.
Yes.
Yeah. Bunch of Gators. Oh, he's just an icon.
I still remember vividly when he passed from this world to the next, and that was pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
For anyone who watched him on Animal Planet.
Everybody was so sad all across
that's tough.
the world.
So rest in peace. But a spirit lives on through his son.
Yes.
His son's great.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take a live look. Well, it's a live look at the temperature map for this morning, as we're seeing temperatures that are in the 40s in the Kittitas Valley, but 20s and 30s in the Yakima Valley. So that's maybe where you would have to break out the ice scraper for this morning. We're right around 40 in the basin and also in the foothills. And in the Kittitas Valley, remember, it's at 40 in Ellensburg, but the winds are gusting upwards of 25 miles per hour. So it's probably going to feel colder out there. We're seeing some fog in the Blues, but much more fog up in the Cascades, so just another good reason to take it slow while going over Snoqualmie Pass. We're seeing this big area of snow this morning in the Blue Mountains. This is snow in elevations above 3,500 feet. Snow levels drifting down to around 2,000 feet a little bit later this afternoon. Let's take it back to the Tri-Cities. Here's your coat cast for today. Definitely going with the heavy jacket for this morning, and then just light jacket stuff from about 12 to 4, then more heavy jacket stuff for this evening. So for today, we'll be seasonal with highs near 50 degrees. In general, we'll be mostly dry in between the mountain ranges, but better shower chances in the foothills and in the mountains. And I'll have that zone by zone look at today's forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now, after this year's election results, the question is, what will the 2025 legislative session look like? Governor-elect Bob Ferguson and incoming Attorney General-elect Nick Brown held a joint press conference addressing how they'll work with the Trump administration. In Trump's first presidential term, the Washington AG's office clashed with the federal administration, ending up in court many times, which is why the new governor and AG are trying to find ways to work together better. They highlighted key issues for next year, like the environment, healthcare, and education, just to name a few.
And it's very clear that the AG Ferguson and his team have spent a lot of time thinking about what's next. And we will take those challenges very seriously and be prepared for the work ahead.
And current Governor Jay Inslee has said he wants to work with Governor-elect Ferguson and the others as well. And looking now at the turnout for the 2024 election, low voter turnout was apparent all across the country, but in Washington state, the drop among young people was even more noticeable. About 64% of registered voters 18 to 24 cast ballots this year, a decrease of about 8.5 percentage points from 2020. Turnout dropped by about 7 percentage points for people 25 to 34. And to give you some more stats, turnout dropped a little under 7 points for people 35 to 44, 6 points for people 45 to 54, and 5 points for people 55 to 64. 89% of voters older than 65 returned their ballots this year, and it's a decrease of only about 2%. Looking at Oregon now, rural counties show the highest turnout for the general election, as it has in past years, but it was the tiny Wheeler County with over 878 ballots being counted that had the highest turnout throughout the state, and that's at 84.91%, and Oregon's voter turnout rate was hovering around 57% one day after Election Day, and that's according to the Secretary of State's office. We are fast approaching the season of giving, and this time of year can be hard for many people that are struggling, and those trying not to fall asleep on an empty stomach. Our Monique Ledesma reports how one local dealership is making a difference, one can at a time.
The season of joy, the season of hope.
But the food is so important because that's something everybody needs.
We continue to hear that the need is growing, so it's something we want to continue to be a part of. We know the need will be there, and we're seeing our community and our customers just come out in impressive numbers to support the cause, because they know it's friends and neighbors, people that might just be across the street that just need a little hope and maybe a meal.
This is the 23rd year McCurley has partnered up with Yolks to raise money through the Tri-Cities and Yakima region to help donate food to local food banks. The food banks to receive these donations left.
Just unloaded the food, and I am just in awe about how much food came in.
I think the first word that comes to my mind is awe, because I look at that and I am just astounded to see the volume that comes in. I also am totally impressed by the participation level. The McCurley organization, the Yolks organization, the time they take for our community to give back. And this is, we do this every week.
It's been a tough year or two. I know people in the community, just ordinary working people, are struggling because of inflation and all that. So it's certainly reflected in what's coming into the mission compared to other years. And I get it, because people are struggling themselves. And so this year, although we've had enough, it's been thinner than normal. So the food that came in today, that's exciting.
The food drive goal was to raise $50,000 to split evenly between 5 food banks. They canned up about $61,000. That's equaling 26,000 pounds of food. Reporting in Pasco, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Monique. And thanks to community support throughout the 23 years of this food drive, people have been able to donate a total of 1.2 million pounds of food. Now, the city of Pasco is calling all artists wanting to show off their artwork, and this is for a 3-month exhibition at City Hall that's set to start in 2025. And when it comes to the kind of art the city is looking for, officials say the sky is the limit. It's not just about paintings or sculptures. You can showcase anything from quilts, crochet projects, knitting projects, watercolor, oil paintings, and photography. The only thing they ask is that you keep it family friendly. In the city of Pasco,
we have so much talent here in our region, in the city of Pasco. We really want to be able to highlight that and to give people a look at what is coming from their own community. So if we can highlight local artists and give them some exposure to people across the broader city, that's going to be a great thing for everybody.
To be selected, you will need to submit a portfolio with the cover letter about yourself as an artist and the message that you're trying to convey with your art. Also, along with some pictures, and all of that needs to be submitted online by December 15th. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, the last supermoon of the year is arriving very soon. And after the break, we'll tell you when exactly you should be looking up. But first, Josh will be looking up and letting you know how your forecast is looking for today, and that's in just a few minutes.
Texans, Cowboys, the battle for Texas. Monday Night Football at 5. Apple Valley News Now.
Ready to bring your dream kitchen floor to life? At Floor & Home, you dream, we install. This month, pay no sales tax at your local Richland or Walla Walla Floor & Home.
Here in Washington, we love the word and, like socks and sandals, flannels and beanies, wheat fields and mountains. And now with FundHub WA, saving money and helping the climate. Find grants to bring resources and funds to your community. Get incentives to grow your business and transition to clean energy. And discover rebates that will save you money at home and on the go and reduce emissions. Find funding opportunities today at fundhub.wa.gov.
In a world where every customer wins, only one event will completely change the vehicle shopping experience for Eastern Washington. The competition is fierce, but the rewards are all yours. Because when we push the limits, you drive away with more. This is an all-out battle for sales supremacy as all McCurley locations compete to provide you with the best deal, the best experience, the vehicle you've been waiting for. Will you find your way home? Hurry in today and save big before the countdown ends.
Get special 0% financing on a new Chevrolet during the final year-end countdown from McCurley Chevrolet.
Welcome to Chris's Recovery Shop.
Is your boat upholstery starting to look worn or has tears? From tops to seats to panels, we have you covered. Do you own a business and need repairs to seats or furniture? From agricultural to restaurant, we have you covered. Got a classic car that needs a little interior TLC? From seats to armrests and panels, we have you covered here too.
Chris's Recovery Shop in Yakima,
where we keep a good thing going.
Ready to bring your dream bathroom to life? At Floor & Home, you dream, we install. This month, pay no sales tax at your local Walla Walla or Tri-Cities Floor & Home.
What you've done is remarkable.
I'll be your partner.
If I invest in this thing is gonna catch fire.
Shark Tank, new tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
It's one hot topic. Women taking testosterone, sharing their stories on TikTok.
I didn't even know that women could benefit from testosterone.
Could it work for you?
I feel a world of difference.
This morning,
it's changed my life so much.
On Good Morning America.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's take you on a tour of today's forecast, starting off in Kittitas County, where we're going to be mostly dry in the valleys, but we'll still have a chance of some showers up in the Cascades. Snow levels at 3,500 feet for this morning, dropping down to around, they're around 3,000 feet for this morning, dropping down to around 2,500 feet a little bit later in the day. Wind gusts, by the way, for the Kittitas Valley, gusting out of the north and west upwards of 30 miles per hour, but in the Yakima Valley, wind should be light overall. These highs into the low 50s. Plenty of sunshine in the valleys for today, and even in the basin we'll have partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a stray shower here or there, but it should be mostly dry. Light winds overall. These highs are going to end up near 50 degrees. And then for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, we'll have a slightly better chance of showers here throughout the day. High temperatures stuck in the mid 40s. We'll be into the mid to upper 30s in the Blue Mountains proper. And again, we could see a little bit of snow up in some of those higher elevations of the Blues. Okay, now let's talk about the big picture, the rainfall deficits that we're running, that we're expecting to run ahead of this storm system into Sunday and Monday. And then here's what we're expecting in the wake of that storm system. We're thinking we'll get about 5% improvements for the valley, still running deficits there, but about 15 to 25% improvements for the basin and foothills, and maybe running a surplus, albeit a pretty small one, in the basin. So definitely making some good progress in that regard.
All right, check this out. So stargazers have a special reason to look skyward this weekend.
That's because the last supermoon of the year is arriving today. That's when a full moon happens while it's at its closest approach to the Earth, making the moon brighter and bigger than usual.
And the moon will also be a beaver moon, which got its name because November is when beavers prepare for winter by strengthening their dams and storing more food. That's an interesting reason. I thought it'd be more scientific than that, so that's funny.
Yeah, but this one's for those of you watching us in Oregon, the beaver state. This moon is for you. Yep.
Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the trial of a defendant charged in the January 6th Capitol riot has been postponed, and we have the reason why and more of your top stories coming up in your morning sprint. But first, this guy right here will have your full weather forecast.
It's time to secure your RV for fall camping from your destination store in Pasco. Broadmoor RV Superstore is jam-packed with new 2025 models with all new floor plans, and they're all priced to sell. Our professionals can help you choose your RV for fall camping and take advantage of the great deals so you can be ready for next spring. Family owned and operated since its inception. Broadmoor RV, the #1 travel trailer dealer in Washington State. Broadmoor RV, your destination store in Pasco.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino in Yakima. Experience the thrill of our Vegas-style casino, featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and earn exciting rewards. Enjoy games like Blackjack, Pai Gow, and High Card Flush. While you're here, don't forget to unwind with a drink at our cozy bar or enjoy a meal from our restaurant. Come discover Yakima's ultimate entertainment destination, Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Tacoma for just $269 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
DeLynne's Boutique is a lifestyle boutique that offers locally sourced and established brand items. We feature men's and women's styles with a fresh approach to your look. DeLynne's Boutique brings style that is approachable yet unique, so you can look and feel your best no matter what room you are walking into. Our house brand, Life on the Water, is locally inspired, designed, and printed in Kennewick, Washington. DeLynne's is located in the Marineland Plaza in Kennewick, next to the Village Bistro. You can also shop easily online at DeLynne's.com.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
Meet the traveling trio, each helping to protect their money with Chase. Tools that help protect. Alerts that help check. One bank that puts you in control. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Texans, Cowboys, Monday Night Football at 5. Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We are seeing some snow this morning in the Blue Mountains and elevations above 3,000 feet. A little bit later today, those snow levels are going to drop down to around 2,500 feet. We'll put this into motion with Futurecast. And for today, the best shower chances are going to be up in the mountains and for the foothills. Can't rule out a stray shower or two for the valleys or basin, but that is a pretty low-end chance. And then by midnight, we should be dry. And then into Saturday, our weather is going to get a lot more interesting. Clouds building. And then by the late morning to early afternoon, we'll start to see some light showers impacting us. But this big round of rain and snow is going to hold off until the late evening and then into the wee hours of the morning on Sunday. Now, snow levels are going to go way up for Sunday, but then they'll come crashing back down later on Sunday. So that's, that adds some interesting wrinkles to the forecast. Here's some of the water totals we're expecting from this morning through Sunday morning. And keep in mind that this does capture a little bit of the beginning of that next storm system, but it's not a complete picture. You can see the valleys in the basin through Sunday morning, not going to get over 1/10 of an inch of water. Snow levels over the next couple days bouncing between 1,000 feet to 3,000 feet. So for tomorrow, it is conceivable that we could see some flurries in places like Walla Walla and Pendleton, Ellensburg, and Pilot Rock. We're not expecting any accumulations there, but speaking of that, here's some of the snowfall totals we're expecting over the next couple of days. And again, this captures the beginning of that next storm system. So through Sunday morning, we could have a trace to 3 inches on our passes of US 2, US 12, US 97, and I-90. Probably less than an inch for Battle Mountain Summit on US 395 and for Spout Springs on Oregon 204. But again, the bulk of this storm system, the bulk of the rain and snow is going to happen into the day. For Sunday, also into Monday. Then we're tracking this next storm system for Wednesday and Thursday. That one's looking interesting as well. But this Sunday, Monday storm system overall, much wetter, much snowier. We can get a foot to 1.5 feet of snow for Snoqualmie Pass. So definitely, if you're going to travel over the Cascades for Sunday or Monday, pay very close attention to the forecast. And I would maybe advise against traveling. All right, here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Small shower chances Friday and Saturday. Much wetter into Sunday than drier for Monday and Tuesday. In Yakima, turning wet again into Sunday, drier for Monday, then the possibility of a few flurries Tuesday morning. In Ellensburg, watching Tuesday night into Wednesday morning very closely for the possibility of a couple inches of snow. And then for Hermiston, overall pretty dry for Friday and Saturday during the day, but rain chances going way up into Sunday. Then for Walla Walla, drier Saturday, then wetter again by Sunday, and also watching the potential of a few flurries by Tuesday morning.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 5:49. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour. And starting off, here are the top 5 local stories that you need to know this morning. A suspected stolen car turns into a police chase with the suspect firing multiple shots at officers before crashing into a van. Yakima PD responded to this yesterday morning, and the suspect was taken into custody after crashing at South 4th Avenue and West Yakima Avenue. The van driver was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay, and the suspect was booked into Yakima County Jail. No officers were hurt, and YPD says officers did not shoot back. 9 communities across the state are getting money to improve road safety. A total of $2.1 million is coming from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. This includes money to the Confederated Tribes and Bands of the Yakima Nation, and the money will help update data, also communications technologies, and safety-focused initiatives for rural and tribal roads. Governor-elect Bob Ferguson and incoming Attorney General-elect Nick Brown are discussing ways to work better with Trump's second administration. They held a joint press conference addressing key issues for next year, like including but not limited to the environment, healthcare, and education. And the AG's office clashed with Trump's first presidential term and ended up in court many times, which is why they say they're taking this very seriously and are preparing for the work ahead. About 400 students from 12 schools around the region are here visiting local unions for Apprenticeship Week. There are hands-on tours of 3 local union training centers. That's UA 598, Local 55, and IBEW 112. This is so students can learn about other options out there post-high school, specifically trades. And the IBEW 112 is hosting a parent night tonight from 5 to 7, and this is for families who have additional questions. The City of Pasco is calling all artists that want to show off their artwork, this for a City Hall exhibition next year. The city says you can showcase any art that you want, and some examples include crochet, painting, and photography, as long as it's family friendly. If you're interested, you will need to submit a portfolio, including pictures of your art and a cover letter about yourself and your message. And the whole portfolio needs to be submitted online by December 15th. Now to your national headlines this morning. The satirical news site called The Onion has won the bidding wars for conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's InfoWars. As a result of the purchase, The Onion now owns InfoWars intellectual property, including its website and the production equipment used to put Jones on air. The bid amount was not announced, but it was backed by several families of the Sandy Hook victims. Jones had been found liable of defaming the families by suggesting the shooting was a hoax. And the upcoming trial of a defendant charged in the January 6th Capitol riot has been postponed by a federal judge. William Pope is facing misdemeanor charges for his alleged actions during the siege following the 2020 election. Shortly after President-elect Trump won his second term, Pope asked the judge to push back his trial, saying he and others could potentially be pardoned. The U.S. District Judge agreed to the delay, saying a pardon from Trump is possible. A new trial date has not been set yet. Now to your business news. Ford is getting hit with the $165 million fine for its response in recalling cars with faulty rear-view cameras. This after a 3-year investigation, the NHTSA found Ford moved too slowly to report and address the issue. The recall started in 2020 and affects more than 600,000 cars with cameras that drivers said sometimes go blank. Ford says there were no fatalities or injuries related to the recall, but says it will pay the fine and meet the requirements to prevent this from happening again. And more interest rate cuts are likely, according to the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. He says this is because the economy's current trends are expected to remain in place, at least in the short run. And this includes a slowing job market and cooling inflation. Now to your health headlines. The obesity epidemic in the U.S. is projected to dramatically go up. A new study says that by 2050, nearly 260 million Americans could be obese. Health experts warn that more than 43 million children and teens could be dealing with obesity. And the study noted that in 2016, healthcare costs attributed to obesity alone, and that was between $261 and $481 billion. And according to the CDC and the WHO, global cases of measles surged more than 20% last year. More than 107,000 people died, and most were young children. Health officials say it's due to falling levels of vaccinations during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2-dose vaccine is 97% effective against measles. Now in your sports headlines, the Seattle Kraken celebrating with their second win this week, beating the Chicago Blackhawks 3-1 last night. It was a Jaden Schwartz power play that helped secure the win, and you saw it right here on Apple Valley News Now. And next up, the Kraken plays the Islanders tomorrow at 1 p.m. and pregame starts at 12:30, and we'll be showing that game on our MeTV channel. And Major League Baseball's evil empire apparently does have a generous side. The New York Yankees are lending one of their ballparks to the Tampa Bay Rays next season. The George M. Steinbrenner Field, named after its late legendary owner, has been used by the Yankees' minor league team, the Tampa Tarpons. The Rays' usual home, Tropicana Field, is still damaged after Hurricane Milton tore through, and it's not expected to be ready by spring training. The Rays kick off the 2025 season on March 27th when they'll host the Colorado Rockies. All right, now trending this morning, it's the fight that everybody's talking about. Mike Tyson hits the boxing ring tonight in his first professional fight in more than 19 years.
The 58-year-old former heavyweight champion will take on 27-year-old YouTube sensation turned fighter Jake Paul. But what's got the internet buzzing is from their weigh-in yesterday.
That's right. Oh, you saw it just now. So after Tyson weighed in at 228.4 pounds and Paul weighed in at a career high of 227.2 pounds, Tyson went up to Paul for the final stare down and, well, slapped him.
Things got a little rowdy after that. Tyson is seen laughing and being escorted away while Paul addressed the crowd, saying, quote, "It's every day, bro." No, he didn't say that. He said, quote, "It's personal now. He must die."
So he
actually said that.
The two face off tonight at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
And it streams on Netflix starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
You know what this makes me just say? This is just boys. I don't know. It's
just guys being dudes, you know?
Oh my goodness. It's okay. Like, now he must die. And part of me is just like, is this scripted? Is it staged? I don't want to, offend anyone.
Those pre-fight sessions,
yeah,
those are designed
like the final stare down.
Yeah, those are designed to generate attention for the fight, and that's exactly what's happening.
It is kind of, exactly. Yeah. Well, it worked. Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, President Joe Biden is in Peru today for a world summit, but some analysts say it's awkward because many leaders are shifting their focus to President-elect Donald Trump. We have the story and more coming up in your 6 o'clock hour, plus a look at how the voter turnout rate in Washington changed.
And also, we have some snow in the Blue Mountains for this morning, so I'll tell you more about that. Also, I'll preview this big-time storm system for Sunday and Monday, so that's going to be coming up at 6.